and thank you for joining us for another episode of Under SF Inspire. I'm one of your hosts, Tina Nguyen.
And I'm Tyler McKinney. This week we are headed to the classroom to take a deeper look into a service learning program here in San Francisco, assisting students at City College of San Francisco and San Francisco State University.
Before we get started though, here at Under SF Inspire, our message throughout the whole season has been about inspiring women. That could be through the women that take charge in an organization or groups that work to elevate females and gender roles. Tyler, last week we were able to work with a pretty profound organization, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. SF4 is an organization that is very necessary in our community. They've helped so many people so far and are passionate about it. That's what makes them so special.
SF4 sends out such a powerful message and truly provides women with the resources to deal with difficult situations such as sexual assault. Most importantly, I think they create a necessary community for everyone.
It really is incredible, the number of organizations in the Bay Area that want to help and support people from all walks of life.
I definitely agree, and it's amazing to be in our position to highlight these organizations. So now let's put the spotlight on this week's organization, Project Shine.
Yes, Project Shine is a very unique program. They stand out because the students involved have a huge role in what they do. Student volunteers are paired with immigrant students who are looking to improve their English literacy.
In 1997, an inspiring group of women brought this national organization to San Francisco. From its roots, Project Shine has committed themselves to meeting the needs of student learners.
So many powerful women, Dr. Gail Weinstein, Nina Gibson, and Ann Whiteside came together to build Project Shine, and it continues to grow. It creates a strong union between both CCSF, SFSU, and the students.
Their original intention was to help students pass their citizenship tests.
And it has expanded into helping all ESL students who seek guidance every semester, ranging from citizenship to literacy to high levels of ESL and even computer classes.
This program has grown tremendously since its beginnings, yet the foundation still holds true. We have a lot in store for you today, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss anything.
You'll be hearing from two City College student coaches and one of Project Shine's wonderful coordinators.
And don't forget about our in-house interview with the program's lead coordinator, Marianne Ettlinger. We also get to hear from students that are a part of Project Shine. They will join us later on.
Oh my God, that's right. We really do have a jam-packed show for you guys today. Let's kick it off by going to campus to see what San Francisco State students think about the current conversations happening in the political sphere surrounding immigration and what they would do if they lived in a country completely unfamiliar to themselves. How do the current conversations that are happening in government around immigration make you feel?
I feel a little bit uncomfortable just because I don't want this to be the new norm for the new generation.
I think that they're extremely unjust. I think that the president is over-exaggerating things that shouldn't be exaggerating and then hushing a lot of things that need to be emphasized. I also think that a lot of people fail to educate themselves on the policies, which is why people blindly follow them as well. They're just like, oh, that one thing, yeah, that's why we don't want them, or things like that.
Maybe not me because I'm not an immigrant. Maybe for my parents, like caution over them, like in the beginning of when this was going on, or like when it started getting more intense because of maybe political reasons. My parents were often cautious of where they were going because we heard of, I think there were like false alarms of ICE going around and stuff. But right now, it actually feels like it's calmed down for at least my family. I don't know other families or communities how they feel about it, but where I'm from, it's kind of calmed down for now.
If you were to be in another country and you didn't understand the language, how hard do you think it would be for you to adapt?
Cultural struggles and some growing pains one would go through being in a place where they don't know the language at all, because I mean, language is a really large form of communication, and for you to feel like you're already adjusting to a new place and then for you to feel like left out kind of.
I've seen a lot of people that don't speak English and still be able to communicate with the Americans, either retail store and everyday things that you just see around us. But it's also not losing your roots as well, because once you learn the American language, I see through my family that they're losing their roots from the Philippines. We still have the traditions that I have today, but it's not as much as before.
My dad he's like a darker skin tone, so he probably faced like more racial discrimination or anything. My mom, she struggled with the language. Like she tried to go to a community college and learn the language, which she actually, it helped her a lot, but after the years, she didn't finish it because she was a mom, and so she's trying to go back to that now, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty difficult trying to get a job for her. Like, it has to be on the low kind of thing.
Very hard, especially because like I tried to take a language class before, and it's like really hard to, it takes a long time to try to understand like a new language, and if I don't know their language, it's gonna be hard to communicate and like try to find a job. So I wouldn't really know like where to go or like who to speak to. Yeah.
So this is the second week in a row that we've had these tough conversations with students, but I think once again it's a conversation that we really do need to have.
Yeah, and while some of the students said it was easier for them to adapt to a country that they don't know the language of, the general consensus was that there's still a learning curve, that they still need to take the time to learn the language in order to adapt.
They definitely do, and I agree. It would be a little uncomfortable for anyone to have to adapt to a new environment.
And then reading, writing, it's all the important parts that you need to learn to be able to communicate with others.
Definitely. Well, now we are going to take a step back. We want to highlight the humble beginnings of Project Shine and how it has instilled a solid foundation for so many people.
So I have been involved in Project Shine for almost 13 years. And it began when I arrived here as a faculty member in 2005 and met Gail Weinstein, who was already on faculty. She and I shared a common interest in literacy education in the community. 10 years prior, she had started this service learning project, and because we had this joint interest in literacy initiatives, it was a natural fit to start supporting Project Shine along with her. When she passed in 2010, it was a devastating loss to our organization. We worried about the future of Shine, but one of the things that makes me so proud of Shine in 2017 is that it has not gone fallow. It has stayed alive and even reshaped its identity and maintains its integrity as a service learning project that connects teachers and graduate students, undergraduate students at San Francisco State and ESL learners at City College in a very meaningful way. There are a gazillion opportunities to be involved in service learning, but this is the only one that is directly tied to the cultivation of language teachers and also directly tied to ESL classrooms on a constant basis. And so I get to be that administrative anchor to all of that. So even though I have a very tiny role, I'm very proud of the fact that I get to brag about Shine to other administrators. So I have to be very mindful of the connections between the work the coaches do in the community and its articulation, its connection, its anchoring with what are they learning in their academic programs. Our final reflection, we give certificates to all the coaches, and it's at the end of this event where we've acknowledged the different ways that they have learned from their ESL learners and learned from the experience. And so they're feeling pretty positive, and we honor them with this certificate. We do this line where we high-five them, and everyone ends up laughing. And I just think in education, we celebrate volunteerism so invisibly sometimes. It's assumed it happens. Educational systems rely on volunteers, and we don't get to celebrate them. And I love, even for a split second, they feel honored. I love that moment every semester. We have this kind of magnetic quality that you join Shine and you take a leadership position in Shine because you like working with other people. It's too much work to do by yourself. So to do it together and to enjoy doing that collaborative piece takes a special kind. I get to witness that, and I think the students cultivate that among themselves. I think the landscape of immigration is changing. So the need to reflect on what you know about immigration, even though the questions may be the same, the answers we're needing to ask, the answers we need to be open to and be able to see as additional points of reflection, that's growth that we cannot deny ourselves. And I'm just glad that we have something like Shine to normalize that difficult conversation.
I love her passion for helping these students learn English.
Yeah, so do I. You can see it in her face and in her smile that she's super passionate about it. She just seems so excited.
Very inspiring women.
Yeah, definitely.
We still have so much more to come with Project Shine. It's a must-see, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Under SF Inspire. In case you missed anything, we're going to fill you in.
In today's episode, we are highlighting the work of Project Shine. They are a national organization that has spread its roots to San Francisco. What they're able to do is amazing. They help give support to immigrant ESL students and guide them in learning English.
During our last segment, we strolled onto campus to ask students their take on the topic of immigration and language barriers.
We were also able to catch a glimpse of what a coordinator does. Marisol Santos shed some insight into the history and foundation behind Project Shine.
We are now going to bring you to a former coach who is still highly involved with Project Shine, Amanda Bent.
Yeah, Amanda's currently working on her master's here at SFSU in TESOL, teaching of English to students of other languages, which is an anchor for recruitment of Shine coaches.
She'll break down her time as a coach, the memories of being a teacher, and how she's still involved with the organization.
So being a coach truly is a transformative experience. That's just the best word for it. For me, I gained so much by going into that classroom. Every week it was the number one thing I looked forward to every single week was going into that class, no matter how difficult things were with school, with my personal life, with work. Just going into that classroom and seeing the excitement and genuine joy to learn, to have teachers there who cared about them and were interested in helping them. Just seeing that dedication and their devotion and their motivations for learning was always a joy and reward for me to go in and to be part of their learning experience. And really, more than anything, I think a lot of times when people get into service, they think, oh, I'm going in to help improve somebody else's life. But actually, you don't realize until you're in the process that you're gaining so much more by just being there, by interacting with the students, by interacting with the material that they're learning, seeing how they're struggling, but then also seeing how they are able to overcome those obstacles that is very difficult to do, especially as people who are coming here, they've left their lives completely to come to this country and start over. So that in itself is very admirable. And then to see them be able to tackle English, which is one of the most, if not the most complex language to learn, and to learn it at an older age as well. Project Shine is actually one of the things that brought me here to study in the TESOL program here at San Francisco State, because I saw it on the website when I was looking at the program, and I just was immediately enamored by this opportunity for me to not only be able to gain some concrete teaching experience and an opportunity to work with students, but to be able to work with students who who are in the community, who are, a lot of them are new immigrants, and who have vastly different stories and backgrounds. And so that just immediately drew me in. So I knew right from when I came into the program that I knew I wanted to join Project Shine. He said just being able to come to class, have somebody who didn't know his language at all, but be able to smile at him and laugh with him every time, he said that is what helped him continue to come to class, and that's what motivated him to continue to try and not to give up. So that was a really cherishable moment for me as a coach. And then as a coordinator, it's great actually coordinating, because even though I'm not in the classroom and I actually really miss being in the classroom with the students, it's also so powerful seeing our coaches transform themselves.
And now let's take it to Tyler and Marianne Etlinger, the program coordinator of Project Shine.
I'm sitting here with Marianne Etlinger. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
She's the program coordinator for Project Shine. How did you get involved with Project Shine?
So I'm an ESL teacher at City College, and I was actually just kind of lucky that this happened. The circumstances of the campus that I work at, and I work with both credit students and non-credit students. But what's kind of interesting is the backstory is when I was a graduate student here at San Francisco State University in the Ma TESOL program, I was a Shine coach myself. And my first class that I worked in was actually what we called a native Spanish literacy class. And in that class, I met Ann Whiteside, who was one of the founders of the program here at City College in San Francisco State. And she ended up becoming my mentor teacher as I went through learning how to become a teacher or become a professor through the program. And when the opportunity came up, of course, I jumped at it. Yeah.
It's an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so, and you've been involved for for a little while now.
Yeah, I'm a little new. There's been several really wonderful coordinators over the years. It's been about 20 years.
Nice. It's been a while.
Yes.
But it's grown. It's definitely grown.
Yeah.
What is your personal job? Like, what are your duties as program coordinator?
So I have a lot of responsibility. I would say it kind of starts with the first phase is that I have to do outreach, which means I work with credit faculty and work with them in a way that helps recruit the students, the coaches, to come in and do the volunteer program. They're not paid, so how do you inspire students to give up 20 hours in a semester? I think with the credit faculty and myself, we see that there's a lot of benefit when you do community service learning. So that's kind of the first phase. I go into the classrooms, recruit students. The second part is placement interviews. So then I have to talk to all of the coaches. And this semester, we had 200. Last semester, about 200. And we talk about what their goals are, what their needs are, and what they want to learn and about themselves in this process to make sure they're motivated and they have the intention. We place them in the right location. We have several campuses all over the city. We often look at their strengths, like do they speak another language? Can they help translate? And then after the placement, I have to do the training. So the training is another big part of what we do. And then after the training, it's about reflection time. So because it's community service learning, I ask the coaches, what are they getting out of the experience? What are they observing in the classroom about the populations they work with? And by populations, I mean the ESL students in the communities.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have this big kind of reflection at the end.
Nice.
Yes. So,
There's a lot going on.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
It sounds like it, but you don't do it by yourself. There are other people involved. Talk a little bit about that and the dynamic between all of you working together.
I do have an assistant who's really helpful, who helps me kind of with the administrative level. And I don't work alone. I mean, I work with the teachers, the non-credit. I mean, I mostly try to support them, but we all kind of work together to make sure that both their students and the coaches that I send into the classroom are having a good time, a quality experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yes. Yeah.
Very important. And I think it's important to note that these are students teaching other students, which is extremely cool. I love that.
Right. It's actually a very empowering experience, I think, for a lot of the students. So I read all of these emails about what they experienced, and a lot of them tell me like, wow, you know, I was so shy, I'm still learning English.
Yeah.
I'm going into a classroom and helping these people. These students inspire me, and they make me feel powerful because I am more confident, they need me, they respect me. And it's a very mutual thing that happens in the relationship between students, whether they're from the coach perspective or from the ESL students who are receiving the extra support in class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you use the word inspire, which is one of our key
Right.
terms this season.
Right. Yeah.
What would you say inspires you?
That's a really good question. I think that it's mostly the coaches that I work with. When I see them say things about their own growth in how they feel about themselves, how these experiences have opened them up, about their view of the world, I feel like this is really what it's about, to be alive and to see life. And I also love working with young people because they're so optimistic.
Yeah.
And also, it's kind of like part of who I am and maybe where I came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Marianne, for coming in and joining us.
Thank you for
today.
having us.
Of course. Don't go anywhere. We are going to have 2 City College student coaches here. You don't want to miss it. They're coming up next.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today? Let's those pearly whites, man. Yeah. The boys, check it. Stand up, do my chairs, don't compare us. Go.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's the sound? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Hi everyone, thanks for staying tuned in. Today we are highlighting Project Shine, a program pairing volunteer coaches with ESL students. Thank you for being here, guys. First of all, let's start with introducing yourself.
Hi everyone. So my name is Ryan, and I came from China 3 years ago. Right now I'm studying at City College in credit classes, and I have been a coach for Project Shine for 1 year, and I'm learning a lot from this experience. And I am currently, my plan is transferring to a 4-year university, and I'm currently working on it. So it's great to be here. Thank you.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah, pleasure for us to have
Yes,
you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I came from London. I moved here 2 years ago, and I've been a Project Shine volunteer for 5 semesters now, and it's pretty fun. It's really energizing, and I hope to continue doing it for more years to come.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being here.
We appreciate it. Let's start off by talking about how you guys got involved with Project Shine.
Well, it was actually a very interesting story for me because I can still remember 2 years ago when I was taking a non-credit class. I was this little shy student sitting at a corner and never wanted to say anything more than, I don't know, a sentence or something. But during my class, there was this amazing volunteer from Project Shine, which I did not know it existed yet. And she came to our class and together with another volunteer, and together they did very amazing things. For example, they would do like presentations about cultural complexities. They would do presentations about the related topics to our book. And they would walk around, check on students if they were doing well. They would answer questions. And I felt like, wow, like I knew they were students. But it really surprised me that they were doing such great things while I was a student sitting here really trying to figure out what to do next. So I was really inspired by their presence. And as soon as the semester finished, I talked to my instructor, like, I would like to have such an experience if I could get involved, right? So what is the program? And she said Project Shine, and increasingly I got to know more about it. And so I signed up for it as soon as I registered for the credit program, because that way I will be qualified for it.
And now you're here.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
So
amazing.
cool.
And just from us meeting you today, I would have never guessed that you were that little shy boy in the corner of a classroom.
I wouldn't believe so. Thank you.
Let's hear about your experience.
Well, mine is a funny story because I was taking an IDST class 2 years ago, and one of the previous coordinators, Neela Chatterjee, she came into my class and I said, oh God, just get on with it. And then she started with her speech, and I remember verbatim, she said, I'm not here to give you grades, I'm not here to give you credit, I'm here to appeal to your humanity. And I said, okay, right, let's go. And after her speech, I just got hooked into it. And when she left, I followed her and I said, oh yeah, you have successfully appealed to my humanity, how do I sign in? And since then on, I've just been, a volunteer for Project Shine.
It's amazing. You both have grown so much. I can only imagine, what it was like in the beginning and then now. It's a big difference, I'm sure.
Yeah, now you've guys been with Project Shine for a while. I want to hear what's next. What are your plans for the future?
So for me, definitely I'm going to utilize all these capabilities that I've learned from Project Shine. For example, like how to communicate with people from different countries. Because one of the amazing things that I did in Project Shine, that I experienced at Project Shine, was I saw so many students from different countries, from different age groups, from different ethnicities, different cultural backgrounds, everything. And it was because of this experience I got to learn how to conduct better intercultural communication. So this is absolutely one of the benefits I got from it, and I'm definitely going to utilize it. Also with organization skills, other skills like leadership skills, these very helpful skills can definitely prepare me for my future studies as I go to the university, because I'm transferring this year. I'm applying this year, sorry. So I think it will be really helpful as I go into universities and I can search for more opportunities about leadership.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you.
What about you, Daniel?
Well, that is an auspicious question, isn't it? Because before I started Project Shine, I was actually a kinesiology major, and I intended to go to UCSF once I graduate for graduate school, and I intend to have a specialization in physical therapy. But it was only later that I realized that I am actually very passionate about teaching in English. So I've decided to change my major to English and Education, and I intend to transfer next fall. So I'm super excited for it.
That is extremely exciting.
Yeah.
That's what you made us wait for. It was worth it.
Because I didn't want to spoil it and be like, oh.
No, that was a great secret that you kept for a little bit. Thank you guys both for joining us today, and it was amazing to hear about your experiences and what you guys are going to do in the future.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Of course. If you'd like to seek further information, you can find Project Shine's details on the City College and SFSU websites. For all of you at home, thank you so much for watching.
And see you next week when we get a chance to take a look at Casa de las Madres.